So now we know where little voice is coming from, the conditioning. Now, what do we do about it?
Well, what you do about it is, first of all, be conscious that you have one. Because what happens for most people, they're having this conversation in their brain, they believe everything that they're listening to. They're listening to, because obviously it's me talking to me, so I obviously should believe it, which is not the case.
So first, can you tell me the difference between intuition and little voice? How do we know what's the difference? What if it's my intuition talking to me?
Okay, so this is my take on it. There's no scientific evidence here, okay? Is that you're when the little voice is typically talking to you, it's typically holding you back, okay? It's typically putting on the brakes. It's creating limits. It's bringing you down inside. You're feeling big, it brings you down. Your intuition, not all the time, but many times, is expansive. It's the creative part. It's the part of you that sees something bigger, bigger vision. Bucky Fuller used to say, he goes, when you have this vision of greatness, or you feel like you can conquer the world or conquer whatever it is you want to do, he says that's kind of like God giving you an ice cream cone.
Yep.
You just get one lick. He said, but you wouldn't be given a lick of the ice cream cone if you weren't meant to have the whole cone. You're supposed to have all that. We don't live in a cruel universe. You get a lick of this because and if it inspires you, then take the next lick and keep moving. So intuition is also a softer feeling for me. It's a feeling that kind of wells up in a moment that I'm still. Everything else is a response,
yes,
or a reaction. And a lot of people make a mistake that, well, my intuition said I should hit the guy. That wasn't your intuition, dude. That was a fact that your brain short-circuited. And what happened is that you were unable to access the neocortex, which is the higher thinking of your brain, a thing called the amygdala. I don't want to get into all that, but you lost control of your emotion. That's why you hit. That has nothing to do with intuition. Okay? It's a reaction. And one of the biggest problems that we have, if you isolated all the little voices, is that when a person's emotion runs high, their intelligence is low. No. If you don't know what I'm talking about, think about the last time you were really upset and said something when you were upset that maybe 10 minutes later you go, I wished I had not said that. That was the wrong thing to say, because you lost control of that. So that's what's happening all over the world. It's happening in boardrooms. It's happening in businesses. It's happening across national borders. It's happening in finance. All these kinds of things are happening. Imagine a world where people were able to control that. And from day one, we were trained in how to experience our emotions, not run from them, how to handle them when they were debilitating, not be plagued by them. How to take the things that you thought were a curse to you because it was a natural ability that you thought were a curse, and realize at an early age that that's not a curse, that's your gift.
Yes.
You just haven't unwrapped it yet. You get more education, now you'll be able to unwrap it. So all these things that I think we're learning now as human beings, and I'm actually my friend Robert, myself, I shouldn't say this on a podcast, but I will. We've been friends for such a long time, and he's the eternal pessimist. He goes, world's coming to an end. This is going to happen. A financial crash. And I go, yeah. But, I really believe after all these years that there are more people becoming inspired. I think there are more people understanding this podcast and understanding what we're talking about, because the evidence is everywhere. If you look, if you're looking for something, you'll find it. Okay. You say, I really like to have a red Volkswagen automobile. All of a sudden, everywhere you look, you see red Volkswagens, right? So if you start saying, I want to see the good things that are happening, you'll see them. They're everywhere. People opening doors for each other. People, you go into a third world country and you're stuck in a traffic jam. Nobody's honking their horn.
Yeah.
Nobody, people there's like 3 lanes, but there's actually 6 lanes moving around and jammed up in an intersection. We go to Tanzania in Africa. Nobody's yelling. Everybody's smiling.
That's our roads also, Blair. Whether if you've been in Indian roads, you'll know that. I call it organized chaos. It's like a symphony. Everyone is going like this, but everyone is going safe. Nobody's hitting each other.
Right. When you go to America, you're not going to get that. Yeah, I mean, people are screaming. They're going to get out of the car. They want to go get in a fight with people. What's up with that, right? So I think that little voice mastery is the number one enemy to your success and what you want to do. And I would say this.
So for people watching, can you give me step by step what they should do?
Okay, number one, realize that you have one, and realize it's not the real you. Okay, why? Because what we know about personal growth, if you have a problem, if you can externalize it and put it out here, there's my little voice standing like a little puppet standing there right there. That's the first thing. Realize you have it and externalize yourself from it. That
means whatever I am not enough, put it there.
Yeah.
And
right?
externalize it. Okay.
Right. That's the first thing. Second thing is that, well, in the book, I've got 21 different techniques depending what it is. But the first thing is, then the second thing is to apply a technique against it. One of the most common, affirmations.
Yes.
They've been around forever and ever and ever. You know, you're feeling bad about yourself. You can't do it. You can't do it. Okay. It's okay. Say, look at this thing and say, you know, I like myself. I like myself. I love myself. I believe in myself. I've got this. You know, I tell people that the second step is to every day have a discipline and a routine. Every great performer, every great athlete, every great musician, they have daily routines. Why? These are disciplines that allow them to excel at a very high level. If you want to excel at a very high level as a human being, copy that process. That's an age-old, centuries-old process. You know, get up in the morning and, you know, sit and meditate or something like that. But I'm not going to go into the whole routine, but a daily routine that includes some affirmations, a little visualization, I would say a little bit of exercise, and just quiet your mind for a little. If you can only do it for 5 minutes, it's worth it. Okay, that's the second thing to do. And then the third is to dig more into where did that thought come from? Where have I had that thought before? And that's why now, then, when I train people to be teachers, leaders, facilitators, to help ask the right questions to people so they can blow some of that stuff out. And once you've closed the loop on whatever that open question was in your mind that's causing you doubt, it's permanently closed. There may be some other ones open, but that one's handled.
Okay.
And that's the good news.
So step number one, you externalize it. And first understand it's a conditioning, it's a belief, which is not you picked it from somewhere. That's step number one, the most important step. And you're saying if you can really ask the right questions and understand where it came from, you can actually close the loop.
Yeah.
And the best way to do is go affirmations. Affirmations are statements which you tell yourself every single day and start working on it so that you can rework the brain pattern here.
Right.
And that belief can go off.
Right.
And most importantly, have a daily routine.
That's it.
Yeah, just have a daily routine.
That's right. And I'll say the last thing too, and that's this, because people always ask me, how do I become great? How do I overcome procrastination? How do I do all this stuff, which is all little voice stuff, right? I said, okay, you want to be a winner? Stop hanging around with losers. I guess that's the big deal. I mean, then you remember we talked about environment. So put yourself in the presence of the type of people that you aspire to be like. Okay, serve them, be on crew for them, read their books, listen to their podcasts, and all that stuff. But not everybody, but the people that you gravitate toward, because as you open up that space that was preoccupied by the little voice, you want to now start filling it with the good stuff that says, when adversity comes, rather than going, I don't think I could do this, that comes up and say, you got this, keep going. And at that point, now your whole life changes.